Problem number 1 on beams. A cantilever beam 3 meter span is subjected to a concentrated load of 2 kN at the free end. Determine the maximum deflection. Take E is equal to 200 gigapascal, I is equal to 10 power 8 mm to the power of 4. See here in this problem, figure is not given. We have to draw the figure. Solution. See, there is a cantilever beam 3 meter span. See, I will consider a cantilever beam of length 3 meter. The length of the beam is 3 meter. See, one end of the beam is fixed, other end is free, means it is a cantilever beam. See, this beam is subjected to a concentrated load of 2 kN at the free end. See, this beam is subjected to a concentrated load of 2 kN at its free end. At the free end of the beam, it is subjected to a load of 2 kN. This is the problem. Young's modulus of the beam is given and also the moment of inertia is given. We have to find out the maximum deflection. See, we know that the maximum deflection for a cantilever beam will be at its free end. That you have to find out. See, the first step is FE model, finite element model. FE model. See, here we can use one element to build the finite element modeling because we have the boundary condition only at the two ends. See, we don't have any intermediate loads, so we can use only one element for FE model. This is node number 1, node number 2. Length is 3 meter. First I will consider the nodal displacements. See, here we know that there will be 4 degrees of freedom for a 1D beam element, 2 translation and 2 rotation. So at node 1 I will take Q1 as translation and Q2 as rotation, means Q2 is slope. Similarly at node 2 I will take Q3 as translation and Q4 as rotation or slope. Similarly, I have to consider the nodal forces and nodal moments, means applied force at each node and also the applied moment at each node. See, at node 1 I will take the applied force as F1 and applied moment as M1. Similarly, at node number 2 I will take applied force as F2 and applied moment as M2. So this is the finite element modeling of this cantilever beam. See, here we have used only one element. Suppose if there is any load at the intermediate section of this beam, then we have to consider one more node at that point, means we have to use two 1D element to solve such problems. Here we don't have any intermediate load or any intermediate boundary condition. That's why we have used only one element for FE model. Next is elemental stiffness matrix. Elemental stiffness matrix. See, here the elemental stiffness matrix will be equal to the global stiffness matrix because we have only one element in FE model. So K is, the formula is EI by L cube 12 6L minus 12 6L 6L minus 12 6L 4L square minus 6L 2L square minus 6L 2L square 12 minus 6L minus 6L 4L square. This is the elemental stiffness matrix for a beam element. Next we will substitute the value. See, in this problem, the length of the beam is in meter. That's why I'll consider all the values in terms of meter only. I'll consider Young's modulus in Newton per meter square. Similarly, moment of inertia in meter to the power of 4, because the length is in meter. Okay. K is, Young's modulus is 200 gigapascal, means into 10 power 9 Newton per meter square. I is 10 power 8 mm to the power of 4. If you convert it into meter to the power of 4, it will be 10 power minus 12. Divided by length, it is 3 meter, 3 cube. 12. 6L. Here L is length. 6 into 3. It will be 18. Minus 12. 6L. 18. So due to symmetry, I can write the first column 18 minus 12, 18. Next 4L square. L square is 3 square, that is 9. 9 into 4, it is 36. Minus 6L, it is minus 18. 2L square means 9 into 2, it is 18. So due to symmetry, I can write the second column minus 18, 18. Next 12 minus 6L, it is minus 18, it is minus 18. 4L square is 36. Simplify this, we will get K is equal to 740.74 into 10 power 3 12 18 minus 12 18 18 minus 12 18 36 minus 18 18 minus 18 18 12 minus 18 minus 18 36. This is the elemental stiffness matrix, which is equal to the global stiffness matrix, because here we have only one element in FE model. Next is the nodal displacement vector. Nodal displacement vector, that is Q is equal to, at node 1 we have Q1, Q2. Here Q1 is translation displacement and Q2 is slope. Similarly, at node number 2, Q3 and Q4. Q3 is the transverse displacement and Q4 is the slope transpose. This is the global nodal displacement vector. Next is global force vector or global load vector. Global load vector, that is F is equal to, see at node 1 the applied force is F1, similarly applied moment is M1. At node number 2 the applied force is F2 and applied moment is M2 transpose. This is the global load vector. Now we will substitute the value. F is equal to, we need F1. See, if you see the figure, at fixed end no force is acting, means F1 is 0. So here F1 is 0. Next we need M1, means applied moment at node number 1. See the figure, at fixed end no moment is applied, means applied moment is 0. That means applied moment is M1, so M1 will be equal to 0 at node number 1. So M1 is 0. Next we need F2. See the figure, F2 means applied load at node number 2. See at free end we have a transverse load of 2 kilonewton, means F2 will be equal to 2 kilonewton. Since it is acting downward, or since it is acting in the negative y direction, we will take it as minus 2 kilonewton. So F2 is minus 2 into 10 power 3 Newton. Next we need M2, that is applied moment at node number 2. See the figure, at node number 2 means that is at the free end, no moment is applied. Applied moment is 0, means at node number 2 the applied moment M2 will be equal to 0. So M2 is 0 transpose. This is the global load vector or global force vector. Next is equilibrium condition. Equilibrium condition, that is K into Q is equal to F. So K is 740.74 into 10 power 3 into 12, 18 minus 12, 18, 18 minus 12, 18, 36 minus 18, 18 minus 18, 18, 12 minus 18 minus 18, 36 into Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 is equal to F, that is 0, 0 minus 2 into 10 power 3, 0. Next is applying the boundary conditions. Applying the boundary condition. See the figure. See, one end of the beam is fixed, means node number 1 is fixed. Since node number 1 is fixed, the displacement Q1 is 0, also the slope Q2 will be 0. See, since node 1 is fixed, the displacement Q1 and also the slope Q2 will be equal to 0. So using elimination method, you can eliminate corresponding rows and columns. So using elimination method of handling boundary conditions, we can eliminate corresponding rows and columns. We can eliminate corresponding rows and columns. See, since Q1 is 0, we can eliminate first row, first column. So I will eliminate first row, first column in the equilibrium equation. Similarly, see, Q2 is 0, means we can eliminate second row, second column according to this elimination method. So we will eliminate second row, second column. Therefore the equilibrium equation becomes, therefore it is 740.74 into 10 power 3, 12 minus 18 minus 18, 36 into Q3, Q4 is equal to minus 2 into 10 power 3, 0. This is the equilibrium condition after applying the boundary condition using elimination approach. Next we will multiply the matrix. If you multiply this, we will get 12 into Q3 minus 18 into Q4 is equal to minus 2.7 into 10 power minus 3 minus 18 Q3 plus 36 Q4 is equal to 0. If you solve these two equations, you can find out Q3 and Q4. Solving above equation, we get Q3 is equal to minus 9 into 10 power minus 4 meter, or Q3 is minus 0.9 mm. This is the transverse displacement at node number 2, or the deflection, maximum deflection of the beam at its free end. Next, Q4, that is the slope. Q4 is minus 4.5 into 10 power minus 4 radian. Thank you.